What's up, everybody? Justin here. Hope you're having a good Saturday. And I hope you have a good weekend. And right now, today starts a new series of videos I will be doing for the entire month of March to get ready for Wrestlemania, to get hype for Wrestlemania, to get excited for Wrestlemania 35 happening in March. Not in March, in April. What am I saying? It's about a little bit over a month away, or month and a couple days away. These new series of videos are WrestleMania related. Had to break out the old school Hot Rod Roddy Piper shirt. Had to break it out for this first video, WrestleMania related. I'll pick up this little booklet that I need. I'll show you the booklet in a minute. So anyways, this video, the first video of many series of WrestleMania videos where I will go over every match in every WrestleMania. I will go over every single match and talk about it a little bit. If I thought it was good, great, fantastic, phenomenal, 5 stars, whatever, or if I thought it was really bad and like the shits, I'll talk about it. And my reasoning why the matches I thought were good and bad. So I did review, again, this is not, I guess you could call it a review of the WrestleManias, but I'm calling it WrestleMania Rewind. WrestleMania Rewind, I know. Yes, I'm aware the WWE Network has the series of shows called WrestleMania Rewind. And yes, I did steal the name from those shows. So what, big deal. Hopefully I don't get sued. I'm not showing any WWE footage. I do not own the WWE footage. I will never show it on my channel. So I don't think I'll be sued for just talking about WrestleMania and calling my show WrestleMania Rewind. I will be going over, in this first video, I will be going over the first 4 WrestleMania events. So hopefully this video might end up going 30 minutes. I don't know. Here we go with this little booklet that I got years ago when I was still buying VHS. Yes, video cassettes, videotapes for VCR players. Maybe if you're younger and you're watching this, you're saying, what the hell is a video cassette and what is a VCR? Well, look it up. You'll find it out. If you grew up in the 80s like I did, you know what a VCR is. So anyways, this little booklet of WrestleMania with the Attitude Era logo, WrestleMania the matches. This little booklet of the first 14 WrestleManias came inside the video cassettes that I was buying a lot of WrestleMania VHS tapes back probably 20 years ago or 18 years ago or 19 years ago. I don't remember, but here, see, a lot of the WrestleMania cards are listed. So anyways, let's start with the first, WrestleMania 1, which the Hot Rod Roddy Piper was a part of the first ever WrestleMania main event. That's awesome. It was also full of celebrities and music stars, pop stars like Cyndi Lauper. She, by the way, really deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. She really helped WWE get a lot of mainstream attention. Cyndi Lauper, Girls Wanna Have Fun video. She put Captain Lou Albano in her damn video. that's how much she liked wrestling or respected it. I know her boyfriend at the time was a big fan. So, anyways, Cyndi Lawford, I apologize, Cyndi Lauper. She brought a lot of mainstream MTV audience probably to watch WrestleMania because she was involved. Liberace was involved, another musician. I don't know his music that well, but I believe he played the piano. I know that. What's his name? Billy Martin, New York Yankees manager, Billy Martin. Muhammad Ali, the great Muhammad Ali, was also a part of WrestleMania 1. So, again, it happened. The first WrestleMania, this is WrestleMania Rewind. WrestleMania 1 happened on March 31st, 1985, and I was not even, actually trying to think here. I was actually I was 1 years old. I had to be 1 years old because I'm the same age as this year's WrestleMania. Yes, I'm old. I'm 35 years old, but whatever. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't think I look 35, but who cares? Maybe you think I look 40. That's your opinion. So, anyways, I don't know why. I know I was 1 year. I know I was 1 years old. That's what I know for sure. So, yeah, I was 1 years old, but I did turn 2 years old in July of '85. But I was still 1 years old when WrestleMania 1 happened. I think that's pretty cool that I'm the same age as WrestleMania. I always enjoyed that. That I am the same age as WrestleMania turns every year. Shout outs to all the Leos, by the way. If you're a Leo and maybe you're the same age as me, then you're the same age as WrestleMania 2. So WrestleMania 1, March 31st, 1985, from Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Up first, we had Tito Santana take on the Executioner. It's really funny, I believe. The Executioner's backstage promo with Mean Gene. He botches it. That's pretty funny. And Tito Santana, great worker, great Intercontinental champ, great tag champ, great worker. Really was a workhorse for WWF for probably over a decade, or 9 or 10 years. So Tito Santana defeats the Executioner. Now, some of these results I might get wrong. I apologize. I'm going to just talk about the matches. Tito Santana Executioner. The crowd was pretty fired up for this first match of WrestleMania. I believe the match started with Tito Santana doing a running drop kick. That's pretty cool. So the right guy won for sure. Tito Santana wins in the first ever WrestleMania match. Up next, we had S.D. Jones, Special Delivery Jones. Does anybody else remember him? I do. The guy was always used as a jobber, mid-carder at best, from Antigua. I always remember that. And they would announce S.D. Jones. He's from Antigua. Hopefully I said it right. S.D. Jones, the guy seemed like he really enjoyed his time in the WWF. I've seen him on TNT, Tuesday Night Titans. The guy seemed like he's a really happy guy. So S.D. Jones in a record that was set at WrestleMania 1 loses to King Kong Bundy in about 8 or 9 seconds. That was pretty awesome, I thought. Good way to get King Kong Bundy over. I believe 85 or late 84. 84 or 85 was King Kong Bundy's debut in the WWF. It was also King Kong Bundy's WrestleMania debut. And it was everybody's WrestleMania debut. What am I saying? Of course, it was everybody's debut. And a lot of guys would not be back. Like the Executioner, he was pretty god-awful. He was a normal, basic, boring heel, pointless heel character that never was really going to get a big push. Another guy that would not be back ever again at a WrestleMania, David Sammartino. David Sammartino. The guy was not good. He was not god-awful in the ring, but he was not good. He was boring. He had no charisma. No personality, no charisma. He couldn't talk in interviews. I'm sorry, no disrespect to David Sammartino. I know your dad was a living legend, and he was a main eventer on top for decades. But you did not get his talent at all. I don't know why David Sammartino got let go. Maybe it was an attitude problem. Maybe he pissed Vince off or something. I don't know. But the guy would never come back ever again to work for WWF. So Executioner and David Sammartino were one and done. And never on another WrestleMania. Never even a part of the company again. So anyways, I did review every WrestleMania on my year in wrestling shows back in 2015. But I wasn't happy with them. Some of the reviews I was okay with. But I'm doing this WrestleMania Rewind and all these shows because to get excited. To add some WrestleMania flavor and WrestleMania shows to my channel. Some new WrestleMania shows. My Year in Wrestling series where I reviewed every WrestleMania. And check out my WrestleMania playlist also on my YouTube where I reviewed WrestleMania, I believe 1, 2, and 3, I think. But I wasn't happy with the 2015 reviews that I did at WrestleMania. In my Year in Wrestling series. Check out that playlist. I'm not that happy with it because in the beginning, start of the videos, I was damn nervous to be on camera. So up next, Ricky Steamboat, after King Kong Bundy defeated SD Jones in record time, Ricky Steamboat left the NWA, went to WWF. It was great. He was there. Ricky Steamboat defeated Matt Bourne, who later on would become Doink, the original Doink the Clown in late 92-93. Ricky Steamboat wins, I believe, with a high cross body press. It was awesome. I love Ricky Steamboat. One of the greatest workers of all time, greatest wrestlers, and baby faces. Up next, David Sammartino was the shits. I'm sorry, the guy was a shits. I'm not trying to disrespect the guy, but he was boring to me. I was bored with him as a kid, even though I didn't get to see him. Barely, because I was a baby. But he was boring looking back on it. He had no personality, no charisma. Brutus Beefcake, I believe it ended in a disqualification. Bruno Sammartino got involved. I believe Brutus was managed by Johnny Valiant, Luscious Johnny V. I think it was a DQ finish. This match shouldn't have been on WrestleMania. At least Brutus, I don't like him. Never was a fan of his gimmick. Not Brutus Beefcake or the Barber. I did not like him. I still don't like his gimmick. To me, Brutus, at least the guy had some charisma, some personality. He was a lot better than David Sammartino. Up next, the Intercontinental title. Greg the Hammer Valentine. The guy's a good Intercontinental champ and a good worker. Greg the Hammer defeated the Junkyard Dog, or was disqualified. Greg Valentine retained. It was cool to see JYD be on WrestleMania 1. I was always a fan of JYD. Up next, Iron Sheik. The tag team titles, Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. They're actually real brothers, if you didn't know that. Mike Rotundo, Barry Windham, the U.S. Express, took on Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik for the tag titles. It always made me laugh and still makes me crack up and laugh when the announcer says, or Howard Finkel says, everybody please rise for the Russian national anthem. And then Nikolai starts singing it. That's always been funny to me. And they are managed by Classy Freddie Blassie. New tag team champions, history made at the first WrestleMania. The first ever title change was for the tag titles. Nikolai, Iron Sheik, your new tag champs. And Nikolai and Iron Sheik, they couldn't speak English that well, but they were hard to understand, but they were a pretty damn entertaining team. Until over a year later, or 2 years later, Iron Sheik would be fired by WWF. I think he's fired. Or let go. Now we have the $15,000 body slam match. And these rewind shows are probably going to go longer than 30 minutes. But I'm not going to do WrestleMania 4 because then this video would probably be an hour. So I'll just do the first 3 WrestleManias. Body slam match, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd. Big John Studd managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, one of the greatest managers of all time. Andre, one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. Everybody knows the name Andre the Giant. He was the 8th wonder of the world. The guy was undefeated for 15 years, most of his career, until he jobbed and laid down for Hogan. And put Hogan over. And passed the torch to Hogan, basically. So Andre the Giant body slams Big John Studd and Bobby Heenan. Andre starts throwing the money out of the bag into the crowd. That was pretty damn funny. Bobby Heenan gets in, steals the bag, runs off. That was also damn funny. Up next, Women's Championship. WWF Women's Championship. Lalani Kai, managed by Fabulous Moolah. Oh man, I did screw her name up. Lalani Kai. Try to say that name like 5 times. Lalani Kai defended against Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter managed by Cyndi Lauper. That was awesome to see. When Cyndi came out, she got a big pop and reaction. I doubt the reaction. I'm sorry. It was not for Wendy Richter. I believe it was for Cyndi Lauper. Because everybody loves Cyndi Lauper. She made some pretty good music. I was a baby, but I know what her music sounded like, and she had some good hits. Girls Want to Just Have Fun. That was a great song. Really big hit in the 1980s. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Cyndi Lauper. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. The video is pretty cool because Captain Lou Albano is in it. So, Wendy Richter, I believe, wins the women's title. I think. Anyways, I don't remember the match. I'm sure it's decent. Up next, the main event of WrestleMania 1. You had Liberace, I think, was a timekeeper. Billy Martin was a ring announcer. Muhammad Ali was the outside enforcer, referee for the outside. Pat Patterson, the first Intercontinental champ, was a guest referee. And in Hulk Hogan, the WWF champ, there was no WWF title defense on the first WrestleMania. Hogan, the champion, with Mr. T. I thought it was a great idea to get Mr. T for WrestleMania 1 because the guy was a big star. The guy was a big TV star. Everybody knew who he was. And his career was starting to explode. Even when I say explode, I mean in a good way. Mr. T's career was blowing up. It really was. So look up Mr. T, kids, if you don't know about him. The guy was a big star in the 80s. So he had a little show called The A-Team. I always loved that show as a kid, and I still love it. So Mr. T and Hulk Hogan with Jimmy Snuka in their corner, taking on Roddy Piper, the Hot Rod. Roddy Piper, rest in peace. So sad that Roddy passed away. He's way too young to pass away. Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with Bob Orton, Cowboy Bob Orton in their corner. I believe Cowboy Bob Orton had the cast that he wore for probably like 3 to 2.5 years. He wore that cast. Like, his arm was still broke. So anyways, Hogan and Mr. T win. The crowd was lit. They didn't say that word in the 80s. The crowd was lit. The crowd was hype. The crowd was on fire for the start of the main event. Mr. T and Roddy Piper came face to face. Stared down. The crowd was just really excited. They both slapped each other in the face. Great start. And for Mr. T, never being a trained pro wrestler, the guy did okay. He didn't do bad at all. Excuse me. Really good main event for WrestleMania 1. Here's a little flashback. I have it on DVD. There it is. The DVD's inside, but here it is. There it is. WrestleMania 1 cover. This is a Coliseum video cover, but I converted the video cassette to DVD. So there it is. Even the back says Coliseum video. There are all the matches. So maybe you enjoyed seeing this. There's WrestleMania 1 poster and cover. I'm sure that video, when it came out, I'm sure it was rented a lot. It probably made WWF a ton of money. WrestleMania 1 was a big success for the company. I do believe Vince McMahon and his family, they put everything on the line. They put all their chips down on the table and bet on WrestleMania that it would be a success, and it was a big success. I'm sure they made a lot of money from the ticket sales and merchandise. They didn't have that much merchandise, but I'm sure they sold a lot of Hulkamania shirts. So now WrestleMania 2. This is, by the way, my WrestleMania Rewind, where I am going over WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3 in this first video of my WrestleMania Rewind. WrestleMania 2. Here's another flashback for you. WrestleMania 2, there's a poster, there's a cover. DVD's inside here. There it is. So WrestleMania 2 took place. It was historic. It was innovative. In my opinion, Vince McMahon, WWF, was way ahead of their time for bringing a WrestleMania, bringing any wrestling show. In 1986, you bring it from 3 different locations, 3 different cities. Big cities. 3 of the biggest. cities in the United States. New York, the thing is, they're in Union, I don't know the arena. Uniondale, New York, I think. Yeah, Nassau Coliseum. New York's Nassau Coliseum. I believe that's New York, or maybe it's by New Jersey. I'm not sure. So Los Angeles, Sports Arena, New York, and Chicago, the Rosemont Horizon. By the way, the Rosemont Horizon is a dump. I've been there before for a Raw taping, for a Raw live event. It is shit. It's a shit arena, in my opinion. Maybe they cleaned it up. Hopefully they did, for the sake of the Chicago fans. But when I was at the Rosemont Horizon, I know it has a new name now, but it was a dump. That's my opinion. So again, a lot of fans, maybe your opinion is the 3 different locations was a giant fail. I disagree. I think it's innovative, never done before, and has never been done again. You can't even do that in 2019. 3 different locations, 3 different commentary teams. Different referees, and that's crazy. And 3 different ring crews. Gotta set up 3 rings and lights and everything. Crazy. It was ahead of its time, and that's why WWF blew up in the 80s, because they were innovative. WrestleMania 2 was bigger, like the event or not. Think the event sucked or not, it was bigger and better than WrestleMania 1. So again, Vince, the guy was thinking in the 80s. His thinking was really smart and ahead of its time. And that's why the guy has succeeded and turned WWE into a $1 billion global phenomenon. So WrestleMania 2 kicked off with, they had a lot of matches. A lot of matches on WrestleMania 2. I'm going to just count them all up. See, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 matches. I believe 12 matches, unless I counted wrong. 12 matches, that's a lot of matches for any wrestling event. That's a lot. And I believe the event, I don't know if it was 3 hours or under. I'm not sure. I'd have to check on the network. But anyways, again, I thought WrestleMania 2 was an upgrade. Big upgrade. Production was pretty good. There was no... the microphones did not cut off really. Vince and the production team, especially in 1986, did a pretty good job. The production quality was a lot better than WrestleMania 1. It was definitely an upgrade, and a good upgrade. I don't think it was a fail of an event. Now, the card in the event was not that great, but I'm sure it made a hell of a lot of money. In closed circuit, maybe on early pay-per-view, if you got a satellite dish, a giant dish in your yard. Maybe you could get pay-per-view in 86. I don't know. But closed circuit, in the attendance at all 3 arenas, they probably made a couple million. Or at least, I don't know, 2 to 3 million. Anyways. Kicked off with, in, I believe LA, kicked off in, these matches are not in order. I don't believe. These matches are not in order. First match kicked off from New York's Nassau Coliseum. before the event started, the national anthem was, or America the Beautiful, was sung by the great Ray Charles. Rest in peace. He did a great job. Wrestlemania 1, national anthem was Mean Gene Okerlund. Rest in peace, Mean Gene. These are first couple WrestleManias. A lot of the guys on the cards are no longer with us, sadly. Up first, I believe, was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff against Don Morocco, the magnificent Morocco, with Mr. Fuji. Paul Orndorff was a babyface. Bob Orton, Rowdy Piper turned their back on him, and they started feuding, I believe, in late 85 or 86. So this match was short. It was pretty pointless. Both guys are great workers, great talkers. Paul Orndorff, Don Morocco, two legendary tough guys and Hall of Famers. But the match was like 3 to 4 minutes, it felt like. Very short. I could probably get the time on the match, but I'm not looking at the internet. Looking at this, the card of WrestleMania 2. Right there, you can see WrestleMania 2. So I believe it ended in a double count out or count out. Next, we had, these matches are not in order. The second match was, I'll just say, Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake Roberts made his WrestleMania debut at WrestleMania 2. Jake the Snake defeated George Wells. I believe George Wells was a former NFL player, I think, or Canadian Football League player. George Wells was not awful as a wrestler. Nobody really cared and knew who he was, really. Jake the Snake wins and then puts the Snake, Damien, on top of George Wells around his neck. If I was a wrestler, I would have hated that. Hated it. If I got a snake put on me. And then I had to sell that I was knocked out from the DDT and you couldn't move with a snake on you. You probably wouldn't want to move a lot. With a snake on you, you probably don't want to move much, because then if you start moving all around, they probably get more angry and start squeezing you to death. Or maybe it's better, I'm not a snake expert, maybe it's better throw the snake off of you. If you ever get a snake that goes on top of you, maybe it's better to throw them off you and run. I don't know. But up next, we had, let's just go to LA. The LA Sports Arena matches, or Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog. They made a pretty good tag team. I enjoyed them as a tag team when I was a kid. Whenever they teamed up. Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog, up against Terry and Hoss Funk. The Funk Brothers. I'm still not sure if Hoss Funk was Dory Funk, or if he's just a wrestler that they named Hoss Funk. I'm not sure if he's Terry Funk's real brother. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Dory Funk. If it was, I apologize. Dory Funk is a legend. Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Tito Santana, Junkyard Dog. I think this ended in a DQ or something. I don't remember. But it was entertaining. The crowd was hot and pretty loud for it. What was funny about WrestleMania in LA, WrestleMania 2, they had like the ring mics turned up really loud. So the ring, every time someone got slammed or fell on the mat, the mics under the ring were way turned up. That's what I remember. So let's go to Uncle Elmer. Yes. Goofy. Really goofy gimmick. Uncle Elmer. I guess he's a cousin of Hillbilly Jim. Uncle Elmer took on adorable Adrian Adonis. Adrian changed his character. from when he teamed up with Jesse Ventura. And he's a part of the AWA before that. He became Adorable Adrian. Flamboyant character dressed up in pink, put makeup on like a woman. I guess he's a cross dresser. I don't know. I get, but his character is like dressing in women's clothes. It's pretty damn funny. And Adore Adrian Adonis, when he started doing that, the guy major heat. The guy major heat in the 80s. The fans did not like him. The fans were uncomfortable with seeing him in women's clothes. A lot of, especially in the 80s, a lot of homophobic fans went to live events, and especially on TV and pay-per-views, they chanted the F word at Adorable Adrian. I'm not going to repeat it. You know what it is. Not F-U-C-K, by the way. Not that word. F word. That's just really a nasty word towards the gay community. So anyways, Adorable Adrian, Uncle Elmer, I believe, won. I think is really short of a match. But it was entertaining. The crowd was pretty excited. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat took on Hercules Hernandez. This was Hercules Hernandez WrestleMania debut. Later, he would just become Hercules. Ricky Steamboat, I think, defeated Hercules. I hope he did, because he was a bigger star. Corporal Kirshner, let's go to Chicago. Corporal Kirshner defeated Nikolai Volkov. It was really short, and I didn't really care about the match. WWF Women's Championship from Chicago. Fabulous Moolah defended against Velvet McIntyre. It was really short. Really short. And I felt bad for both women. But they barely got to work. Tag team titles. This was good. This was good. Tag team titles from Chicago. The champions, the Dream Team, with Luscious, Johnny V, Greg the Hammer, Valentine, Brutus, Beefcake, defending against the British Bulldogs. In their corner, their manager, Captain Lou Albano, and Ozzy Osbourne, a rock singer. Yes, if you didn't know that, Ozzy Osbourne was at a WrestleMania. British Bulldogs win. I thought it was a great finish. One of the Bulldogs slammed the head, I believe a Greg Valentine slammed the head into the other Bulldog. Maybe his Dynamite, and he fell off the ropes onto the floor. Knocked out Greg Valentine. They covered him for the 1, 2, 3. British Bulldogs become new tag team champions. That was awesome. Also, the first 2 WrestleManias, the tag titles changed hands. Up next is George the Animal Steel getting an Intercontinental title shot. Macho Man Randy Savage. Rest in peace to both guys. Rest in peace to all 3 that were involved. Miss Elizabeth, George the Animal Steel, Macho Man, no longer with us. That is a tragedy. Very sad. Macho Man was a great Intercontinental champion. He was a workhorse. He made that title matter and brought prestige to the Intercontinental Championship in the 80s. Macho Man, I think it was a disqualification finish. The crowd was pretty excited for it. It wasn't that good of a match, but the crowd's hype. I wasn't not entertained by it. It was fine. It was good. We knew it wasn't going to be a wrestling classic, so I was entertained by it. I still am today if I watch it. So now we have a boxing match, a special boxing match. Roddy Piper Boxing Mr. T. In Mr. T's corner was Joe Frazier, the famous boxer, which sadly Joe Frazier might only be known for getting knocked out by Muhammad Ali, but he was a damn good fighter, was Joe Frazier. Rest in peace, Joe Frazier. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper. This boxing match was a mess. It was sloppy. It was botches, a lot of botches by Mr. T, but it wasn't his fault. The guy wasn't a trained boxer. The guy wasn't a trained wrestler. Yes, he did F up when he totally missed Roddy Piper's head with, I believe, a left or right hook. Totally was not even close to Piper's face. Piper got pissed during the match, and he had a right to be. He picked up the stool and threw it really hard, just chugged it at Mr. T. I believe it hit his legs and knees. That had to hurt. And also, it looked like Mr. T was blown up and really tired and gassed out and blown up. Again, I don't think it was his fault. But anyways, a lot of people think the boxing match was a mess. It was, but as a kid, I enjoyed it. And I still enjoy watching it whenever I decide to. I mean, nobody really expected Mr. T to be perfect and put on a great boxing match. Even though he should have, because they should have talked backstage and planned out a lot of spots. I don't know. Maybe Mr. T didn't want to listen to Roddy Piper. Maybe that's a problem. That's why it was a bad boxing match. Up next, we had a open invitational 20-man over the top rope battle royal, WWF superstars and NFL stars. You had who was in this? Guest referees Dick Butkus and Ed Too Tall Jones. Former NFL greats William the Refrigerator Perry. William the Refrigerator Perry was in this battle royal. It was in Chicago. He was a current Chicago Bear player, Super Bowl champion at the time. He got a huge pop, huge reaction. Andre the Giant was in it. Hart Foundation, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Bret Hart's first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 2. Haku was in it. Who else? Hillbilly Jim, I think. Bruno Sammartino, I think. Big John Studd. Some other NFL players. And I think Iron Sheik was in it. Anyways, your winner of the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2, Andre the Giant. Good idea. I'm glad he won. He should have won. So now we have the main event from LA Sports Arena. Hulk Hogan defending the WWF Championship against King Kong Bundy in the first ever steel cage match and first ever WWF title match at WrestleMania. You had the old school Big Blue steel cage. That was cool to see at a WrestleMania. And probably a lot of fans give this match shit and say it was shit. It was a mess. It was garbage. It was boring. But I disagree. I enjoyed it. I still think I could still watch it today in 2019, and I would still think it was a decent cage match. It was good enough for me. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I did not hate it. I did not think King Kong Bundy and Hogan did a bad job. I don't know who thinks that, but they did a fine job. Wasn't great. Wasn't the best match of the card. Maybe it was. It was the best match of WrestleMania 2 and the most entertaining. The second best was probably the tag titles, where the British Bulldogs won. So again, WrestleMania 2, in my opinion, was a lot better, more entertaining than WrestleMania 1. But out of 12 matches, only 2 of them were really entertaining and good. WrestleMania 3, this is my WrestleMania Rewind show where I will talk about every match. WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3. And I apologize that I've gone 45 minutes. WrestleMania 3, big crowd. I don't care if it wasn't 93,000 or if it was a big ass crowd. And it looked great on camera. It looked big time, like WWF was at their pinnacle. I mean, just the #1 wrestling company. Look at that crowd. My goodness, that looked impressive. And it looked great. So, let's count up how many matches took place. I think it was like 13 or 12 or 14. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 matches. Up first, you had Cowboy Bob Orton and the magnificent Don Morocco with Mr. Fuji, Take On a Can, and Connection, Rick Martel and Tom Zink. Tom Zink, you're an idiot because you decided to leave WWF after this because you wanted a pay raise. You weren't that good. You never were. Rick Martel could work circles around your ass. Rick Martel was 1,000 times better of a worker than Tom Zink, who would become the Z-Man in WCW. Good for him. The guy made a lot of money when he's in WCW, I'm sure, because they overpaid for everybody. Sadly, I believe, really sadly, the Z-Man, I believe, Tom Zink, I think he committed suicide. So now I feel bad. But the guy was not. Tito Santana, all I'm going to say, Tito Santana was a lot better of a partner than Tom Zink for Rick Martel. And Rick Martel is discussed in a shoot interview that he tried to talk Tom Zink out of it, out of leaving, saying, man, you can't just walk out and leave. I'm your partner. You got to think about the team here. So you can't just walk out and leave. I mean, talk to Vince about what you're mad about your pay. Talk to Vince. And the guy, Tom Zink, just walked out. Refused to talk and negotiate or meet with Vince. And Rick Martel was pretty pissed about it. And I don't blame him. So the Can-Am Connection, Rick Martel, Tom Zink, it looked like a good team. They won. The crowd was on their side. They were over, but Tom Zink let his ego, I guess, get in the way. Because the guy was gone. After WrestleMania 3, no more Tom Zink in WWF. Because in my opinion, the guy was an idiot. And greedy. And ego. Let his ego get in the way. Thought he should have been paid more than he was worth. And he wasn't. He wasn't worth being paid more than Rick Martel. Up next, I don't know the next match, but I'll just say it was let's say it's Coco Beware against the Natural Butch Reed. Both of these guys making their WrestleMania debuts. With Butch Reed's manager was Slick. I was always entertained by Slick. The guy could really talk and was entertaining. The Natural Butch Reed wins with like a reversal. And then he fell on top of Coco for the victory. The crowd was pretty dead during this match. And not to make anybody sad or not to be a downer, but the gorgeous bird, Frankie. I always loved Frankie and seeing him as a kid. Even looking back at the network now, I still, when I see Frankie, I think it makes me happy. But not to be a downer, but Frankie passed away in a fire. That's what I heard. Very sad. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but I believe it is. That's real tragic. Real tragic because Frankie was like the manager for Coco. Everybody loved Frankie, and it was a gorgeous bird. I believe Frankie was a male bird. It was a gorgeous bird. That is really tragic that Frankie passed away in a fire. So Butch Reed wins. And Butch Reed would only be a part of 2 WrestleManias in his career, 3 and 4. Up next, the Rougeau brothers. Not the Fabulous, but the Rougeau brothers. They weren't fabulous yet. Rougeau brothers, as the baby faces, take on the Dream Team. Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. The Dream Team wins when Dino Bravo interfered. And then they turned on and left Brutus in the ring. They just left him. They left his ass. Probably because he's no good. And they knew it. They left him because it was a storyline. It was to turn Brutus babyface. And he did turn babyface. Brutus would appear again at WrestleMania 3. So the Dream Team leaves Brutus in the ring. And they left him. They kicked him out of the Dream Team. So up next we had a 6-man tag midgets match. It was Hillbilly Jim with Little Beaver and the Haiti Kid. Haiti Kid was funny looking. He's a midget. First off, I'm sorry, all midgets are funny looking to me. And as Bobby Heenan would say, never trust a midget. I'm sorry, I apologize for that, but that's hilarious when Bobby Heenan would say that. And you'd always put down the midgets and make fun of them on commentary or on primetime wrestling. So the Haiti Kid looked like a midget, Mr. T. That's why he's funny looking to me. They against King Kong Bundy, Little Tokyo, and Lord Littlebrook. Lord Littlebrook. And Little Beaver. Those are hilarious names for wrestlers. King Kong Bundy turned on his own team and dropped an elbow. I believe dropped an elbow on Little Beaver. And maybe a big splash or a leg drop. The crowd was shocked. And the other midgets then turned on King Kong Bundy, his own partner, started kicking him in the ankles. That was pretty funny. And then Hillbilly Jim, I believe, clotheslines King Kong Bundy out of the ring, and he goes in the wrestling cart, and he gets drove off to the back, or driven to the back. That 6-man tag midgets match, that was pretty damn entertaining. Billy Jack Haynes took on Hercules. Hercules was managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Bobby Heenan, and my God, Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart had to go to the ring a lot during WrestleMania 3 because they managed a couple guys. Billy Jack Haynes gets hit with a chain by Hercules, and it's a disqualification, I believe. Up next, Junkyard Dog took on King Harley Race. Again, King Harley Race managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Junkyard Dog, I believe, loses. I think. But he took the cape, and he took the crown, and he stole it. And he got a big pop for that. So up next, Jake the Snake Roberts with Alice Cooper take on the Honky Tonk Man, who was managed by Jimmy Hart. This was okay. I think it ended. And Honky Tonk actually won, I believe. Had the tights and put his foot on the rope. He cheated, but he won. 6-man tag team match. The British Bulldogs and Tito Santana took on the Hart Foundation and Dangerous Danny Davis, the crooked wrestling referee, where Gorilla, I have this burned in my brain. Gorilla Monsoon would always say about Danny Davis, he's banned from refereeing. He is banned for life and plus 10 years. That was hilarious. Hart Foundation might have won, and Dangerous Danny Davis, I don't remember the finish. Retirement match. If Roddy Piper announced this was his retirement match. He was going out. He was leaving the business. And he did. He did leave to go make the classic They Live. It's a classic movie. If you have not seen it, watch it. It's great. So Roddy Piper left to make They Lived. He would come back in 1989. Roddy Piper and adorable Adrian Adonis. Roddy Piper wins, I believe, by sleeper hold. And Adonis is passed out, and then Brutus Beefcake gets in the ring for some reason. It's him and Beefcake and Piper start cutting Adrian Adonis' hair. That was pretty damn funny. They start shaving his head, and then he's bald. And he was bald for a little bit after WrestleMania 3. Now we have one of the greatest Intercontinental title matches of all time at a WrestleMania. Still one of the top 5 WrestleMania matches. It still is. Even, I don't care, we're in 2019. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat challenging Macho Man Randy Savage. Great build-up on Superstars, where Macho Man came off the top rope with the ring bell on the back of the neck or the throat of Ricky Steamboat, crushed his larynx, crushed his throat. Storyline wise, obviously, he did not crush it for real. Kayfabe. Anyways, Steamboat then was seen on TV, seen by his doctor, and he was trying to talk, get his voice back, trying to get his speech back. And Steamboat was trying to cut a promo and talk about facing the Macho Man, getting his revenge. He would talk for a little bit, then his voice he would stop. Like he couldn't speak anymore. Very strong, great build-up to the Intercontinental title match, and they had a classic. Just a classic. So many near falls and 2 counts. I believe the ref was Dave Hebner. He had to do so many 1-2s, 1-2, over and over. It was great stuff. Damn good match. Still holds up in 2019. I'll never get tired of watching that match. George Animal still helps Ricky Steamboat pushes Macho Man off the top rope because George Animal still was obsessed with Elizabeth and he kept kidnapping her. And Macho Man and George Steele were kind of feuding. Anyways, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with a roll-up cradle pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat becomes the new Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania 3. The only title change, by the way, of WrestleMania 3 was the Intercontinental title. Now the main event. What else? I've talked about this main event many times. Hulk Hogan defending the title against the undefeated Andre the Giant. Epic, legendary WrestleMania main event. What a main event. I don't care if the match was not good. I don't care. The build-up was so good. The face-off was so good. They didn't need to do much of anything. I know Andre's in a lot of pain because he had a bad back. Might have needed surgery after this, or might have had surgery before WrestleMania 3. I don't know. But all this match needed, and is a success. Need them to face off. Needed Hogan to hawk up, and he did, and he needed the body slam, and he slammed him. I don't care if Andre was not, as Hogan says, he was 600 pounds at the time. No, he wasn't Hogan. He was not. Probably was under 500, or maybe 450. I don't know. Maybe he's over 500. I don't know, but he was damn big. Hogan picked up Andre, and he said he tore a lot of his muscles in his shoulder. Slams Andre. Crowd is up on their feet, just exploding, blowing the roof off the Silverdome. Goes for the leg drop for the 1, 2, 3. Hogan defeats the unbeatable. I'm sure a lot of fans at the time thought there's no way Andre can be beaten. He won't lose. He will not be beaten. But Hogan did it, and Hulkamania was at its absolute peak. And most over. Andre goes off in the cart, and he's pointing at Hogan. Poor Bobby Heenan's like this, upset. Even on Primetime Wrestling, the build-up, they made a giant WWF championship that would fit Andre because Bobby Heenan was certain that Andre would win. But Hogan won. He did the impossible. To me, my opinion, it's one of the greatest main events. It really is. So here is a flashback of the cover of the poster. WrestleMania 3, March 29th, 1987. There it is. Just legendary cover. Great photo. And a pretty damn good event. WrestleMania 3 exceeded expectations. In my opinion, they wanted originally, people told Vince originally, we're going to cut off a lot of the stadium, the Silverdome, where the Detroit Lions played, giant stadium. They wanted to cut down a lot of the seats because they didn't think they could sell that many to like 40,000 or 30,000. Vince said no. Vince said we're going to sell as many tickets as we can to fill up the whole stadium. We're going to try to sell as many tickets as we can, and he did. I don't care if it wasn't 93,000. If it's 85,000, 78,000, that's a lot of damn people. I'm sure the event made a ton of money. Had to be the way more high-grossing event. Made a lot more money. Had to make a lot more than WrestleMania 1 and 2. It's been reported. I don't know if it's true, but for WrestleMania 3, it was reported. Jesse Ventura said this. So I don't know how he found out, but he did. Jesse Ventura said Hogan was paid more than any of the talents on the show, like 3 times more. Probably was. I mean, so what? That was between Hogan and Vince. And you can't blame Hogan for that. For wanting to get the best and most amount of money he could out of Vince. So anyways, it's reported Hogan was paid $10 million for WrestleMania 3. Maybe he had a special deal with Vince, special contract. Maybe he had a clause in his contract that said whatever the ticket sales in the gate is. Maybe Hogan said, I want 50% of that. I don't know. Or who knows? But I do believe Hogan was probably paid $5 or $10 million. I think. Who knows? Who knows if it's true? I'm sure Andre was paid a lot to have to come back. I can't breathe now. My nose is all stuffed up. Anyways, hope you enjoyed WrestleMania Rewind. This show went long because, I'm sorry, WrestleMania 2 and 3 had too many damn matches on it to talk about. Out of the first 3 WrestleManias, my favorite was WrestleMania 3. The first 3. And then it'd be 2 and then 1. Hope you enjoyed my first WrestleMania Rewind video. My voice is all shot. I need to spit. Phlegm. Anyways. Hope you enjoyed my WrestleMania Rewind. First video, I covered WrestleMania 1, 2, 3. Next videos will be maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, where I'll cover WrestleMania maybe 4 and 5. Maybe 6 also. Bye for now.